You hear it. That low thunder rolling through the sand, like a storm with no rain. That isn't just a vehicle moving, it's weight, pressure, momentum. When an M1 Abrams passes by, people love to call it invincible, like it's some untouchable monster forged from steel and legend. But if you stand close enough, watch long enough, and listen carefully, the truth is more interesting than the myth. The Abrams was not built to be immortal. It was built so the crew has a chance to survive, and so the fight can end before the other side even realizes it began. In the military world, main battle tank doesn't simply mean armored vehicle with a big gun. A main battle tank is the center of gravity for a formation. It's the thing commanders lean on when they have to push forward, break resistance, and hold tempo with sheer presence. It's a moving statement in steel. We're coming through, and we're not stopping. But what made the Abrams legendary isn't a single number, not horsepower, not armor thickness, not some stat you can throw on screen with dramatic music. The Abrams became iconic because of a philosophy, cold, practical, and brutal, built into its shape. A philosophy born in an era when war was expected to come fast, wide, and unforgiving. Go back to the Cold War. Planners imagined open terrain, long sight lines, armored formations, and battles decided in seconds. In that kind of fight, the most dangerous weapon isn't the biggest gun, it's time. Because whoever sees first usually shoots first. Whoever shoots first often hits first, and whoever hits first usually wins. That's the Abrams idea in 3 beats, 3 sharp steps into reality. First see, first shoot, first hit. Not because it sounds cool, because it's survival math. And once you start looking at the Abrams as a survival system rather than a war machine, the details make sense. This isn't a story about the strongest tank. This is a story about a machine designed so the people inside don't become the price of the first mistake. The first pillar is firepower. Yes, people talk about the big gun, but in real tank warfare, power is only half the story. The other half is placement. The first meaningful hit, placed correctly, can end everything faster than owning the loudest cannon. The Abrams was built around an obsession with hitting first. Not by magic, but by stabilization, precision, and a crew trained to stay calm when seconds decide outcomes. Sometimes the winner isn't the one with the biggest weapon, it's the one who's still thinking clearly when the moment arrives. The second pillar is survivability. Most people reduce it to armor, but the Abrams is more than thick steel. Survivability is a machine's behavior when the worst happens. It's layout. It's design choices that reduce risk. It's the way the tank tries to give the crew a path back from catastrophe. The Abrams was shaped around a ruthless priority. A tank can be repaired. People can't be replaced. A lot of what makes it terrifying isn't cinematic on the outside. It's the invisible logic inside, where the goal isn't just to avoid getting hit, but to make sure that if a hit happens, the crew still has a chance. The third pillar is mobility. A tank that can't move is just a target with regrets. The Abrams was designed not to sit still. It has power, response, and momentum. Enough that, for something that heavy, it can feel shockingly alive. But here's the harsh truth. Power always has a price. The Abrams price is fuel. It's hungry. And in modern warfare, the winner isn't always decided by the most dramatic moment on camera. Sometimes it's decided by the least exciting word in the dictionary: logistics. So if you strip away the myth and keep only what matters, the Abrams becomes simple in human terms. A crew of 4 living inside a moving fortress. A main gun built to face any peer. Heavy weight traded for protection and stability. Massive power traded for sustainment demands. And most importantly, a platform that evolves over decades. The Abrams isn't a single machine frozen in time. It's an idea upgraded again and again. And then it stepped out of theory and into reputation. The Abrams became a legend in open terrain, where the horizon is long, visibility is wide, and seeing first becomes deadly. In that environment, its strengths align perfectly. Detect early, coordinate fast, strike clean. People watched that and the myth grew. It looked untouchable, but war changes shape. When the Abrams moves into urban terrain, everything shifts. Sight lines collapse behind walls. Sound echoes off concrete. Dust turns air into fog. And danger doesn't only come from the front. It can come from above, behind, under the road. Sometimes delivered by something far cheaper than a machine worth millions. That's the moment the myth has to die. Not to insult the Abrams, but to respect reality. No tank is invincible. Not the Abrams, not anything. And if you look with honest eyes, you see why the Abrams is both formidable and vulnerable. It's elite engineering, but it's not a miracle. It's heavy, and weight creates limits. It's powerful, and power demands constant support. It's complex, and complex machines require relentless maintenance. In an era of sensors everywhere, when the sky itself feels like it has eyes, survivability stops being a story about one vehicle. Survivability becomes a story about systems. And that's what most people miss when they argue Abrams versus Leopard 2 or Abrams versus T-90. You can compare armor, you can compare guns, you can compare engines. But the final answer often lives off the vehicle. Training, sustainment, maintenance, information, coordination. Everything behind the scenes that decides whether a tank is a spear or a stranded piece of metal. These machines share a class, but they reflect different priorities, different industries, different doctrines, different ecosystems. That's why raw stats never tell the full story. If you had to compress the Abrams' real power into one chain, it would be this. Detect, decide, act. Detect first, so the enemy is already late. Decide fast, so the enemy is later. Act first, so the enemy never catches up. You don't fear the Abrams because it can't be destroyed. You fear it because inside the right system, it makes you late. Late to see, late to react, late to survive. And that's the final truth as the dust settles and the engine drops back into its deep, patient idle. The Abrams isn't invincible. It has weaknesses. It has costs. It demands fuel like a living creature. It demands maintenance. And it demands organization. It demands people. But that's exactly why it remains terrifying. Not because of steel. Because of discipline. Because of philosophy. Because it was built to win the time race that defines modern warfare. So what should you fear? Don't fear the name. Don't fear the gun. Don't fear the armor. Fear the system. Because at its best, the Abrams isn't a tank. It's a machine optimized to make the enemy late. And in war, being late can mean you never get a second chance. Now it's your turn. For episode 2, which do you want next? Leopard 2, the other Western legend? Or T-90, a different doctrine, a different ecosystem? Comment Leopard 2 or T-90. And if you want weekly military tech explained like this, cinematic, honest, and built for real understanding, subscribe. Because next time, we're peeling back the myth and staring straight at what actually makes these machines dangerous.